Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out. This is our last segment. Do we safeguard our children against child abuse? To you first, Madhu. Has child abuse ever figured in PTA meetings in your school? Be honest.
No. Honestly, because the parents don't want to talk about it. And when we pull them up and ask them some questions about the children being a little dull or dumb, what's happening? No, it's just that it's not well, it's just this thing. But then there was a parent who came up to us one day and said, I think there could be a problem. Can you talk to the child? And after speaking to the child, we found out that this child was physically afraid of a particular teacher. And so we took it to the teacher, we spoke to the teacher, then we kept the parents and the teachers openly transparent and sorted the issue out. It helped. But there's just one parent amongst about 700 odd of them who will come out and do this. So I think parents need a lot more education and awareness on the fact that they don't have to be ashamed to talk if their child has an abuse problem.
The consequences of the abuse has to be taught to the parents during the parents-teachers meeting. Because whenever the parents-teachers meeting are there, they are only talking about the education levels and the standard.
Legally, it's a punishable offense if the student is physically abused in any form, throwing a dust or anywhere. Now, this message we did get across to all our teachers saying, don't even, lay a finger against the kid. If you as an adult cannot control your temper, what will the poor kid do facing against a host of you teachers?
We are in a conservative society. Unless or until we educate the parent regarding child abuse, we are heading nowhere. A. B. We need to, it must be a group effort. Media, parent as well as the education institution must combine together and work on this.
Should have special classes for parents as well in schools, yes.
And also that I would like to...
Excuse me, we do have parenting sessions where we call counselors, we call experts, and we take care on what they are advising and talking, but the parents don't turn up.
When I was
the parents never turn up.
I was sexually abused by my own cousin. Okay, at that point of time, I just knew the word misbehave. I went and told my mom that my cousin is misbehaving with me. At that age, I did not know the word sexual abuse. So I can just say that he misbehaved with me. And according to my parents' view, misbehavior is just shouting or yelling or beating. Okay, I'm sure that there are many children who will be in my situation. What do you have to say to those children?
The magnitude of the offense wasn't clear.
I have a question for the parents in this audience. How many of you, I'm sure a lot of you taught your kids when they were small about eyes, ears, nose, lips, chin, neck, vast expanse of body which did not exist or it was called shame, and then you want to knees, ankles and toes. If we do not give the vocabulary for our kids to talk about inappropriate or unsafe touch, you're going to face situations because young women talk about where they will talk about misbehavior.
Yes. The child at the earliest stage should be taught what is a good touch and what is a bad touch.
No, I'm saying I'll get one step further. Tell the child what a penis is, what's a vagina, otherwise the child is not going to know who touched him where.
No, sex education itself is being hotly debated.
But sex education... We are not talking about sex education, we are talking about personal safety education which is vastly different.
Do you teach children in school?
I do.
Do you teach in school? I mean, she has brought out a book. In fact, Tulir has brought out a book and a CD called Tickles and Hugs, the touching rules. Are you aware of such things?
Yeah, we have put it on the notice board.
If the child is giving water to a man, if he touches, what will happen? With the picture it was
which is what I think even the CD also brought out.
Yeah.
Today, a school scenario where one section we have 50, 60 students, the teacher does not know the name of the half of the kids. How he is going to talk
except
about
those in the tuition classes.
Yeah, what happens? No, this be the fact. So the parent teachers, this problem can never be sorted out. Be very realistic. Yes, things have to start from the family.
One question. In this case, some of our friends, I feel happy that they had said, but these things should be confidential, right? Even since we are living in a secured, cultured country and the parents...
What is culture, please?
What do you mean by culture?
No, don't pounce to the girl, but yeah.
I want to know what is
I want to know. I'm not pouncing on you. I'm sorry. I want to know what you mean by culture.
That only people don't want the family matters should be published on media.
No, we're not talking about family being published on media. We're talking about the child having to talk to the parent about it.
Yeah.
Solution for this actually, because now we are talking about solutions. I've come across people who've talked about mental abuse with sexual basis. In buses and nights when girls travel, the men in that who are drunk, they involve themselves in self gratification. you know, it affects very badly on. And not only knights, there are people who have been abused in this way.
Listen, it happens. How many of them come forward and give the complaint?
Prove it, sir? Because
but it's difficult to actually, I mean, what he's saying is
unless
that
somebody comes forward,
there's reluctance to come forward and complain because they're too embarrassed to even talk about it.
Talk about something that doesn't have a proof, because police always demands a proof, right?
No.
Because
One sec. Are you trying to tell me? I'm sorry.
Situation, police will never ask for the proof. The moment you say, generally,
the next time you see that happening, you will go and complain.
No,
you will complain.
I'll make sure I tell this
Sanjay,
to all
I want just 1 minute. We need to understand very clearly what are we talking about when we talk about sexual abuse. We are not just talking about rape or intercourse. We are talking about fondling. We are talking about masturbating. We are talking about oral rape. We are talking about finger penetration. We are talking about object penetration. We are talking about a child being licked over her entire body or his entire body. Many of these don't have medical proof, but it is sexual abuse. And the police, I'm sure, are well aware that there is a realm and range of sexual abuse and will deal with it appropriately.
What about
I'm glad you raised that, Vidya. Let me ask you, since you spoke about the lack of proof, sometimes even when there is evidence, I'm sure you've come across this, where they actually wash away the evidence literally. Yes. They feel that, once,
Oh, that's coming to the medical profession. Medical legal
smaller,
reports
even
is a
bigger
different
crime, the criminals try to,
remove all obliterate evidence.
This is the society, But
this is an easier crime to wash away with.
Go ahead. Tell your problem. If police does not come for the rescue, then you come with those solutions and all. But first, you have to feel free to go to police.
Correct.
I'll ask you one more question. I want to ask you this question. Just not you, to the whole audience. How many of us have actually seen inappropriate behavior of an adult with a child? It's made us feel awkward. It's made us feel funny. But we just kind of turn away, or we give the benefit of the doubt as to what that person was doing with that child. How many of us have actually intervened and said,
show of
that's
hands.
not on?
Sure, no, 1 second. Show of hands to that question.
How many of us have actually intervened and said, that's
Three
not
people.
on, we don't think you should do that?
That's 5, okay. 6% of this audience, perhaps.
When we come to teachers beating up children, we forget that when the teacher beats up the children and he doesn't allow the child to tell to the parents or the higher authorities. He says that when the parents come to me, I will talk bad about you, I will complain about you, and he also says that he will reduce the marks. Then how is the child supposed to come out and speak to the media or come out and speak to others?
Blackmailing children, saying that you will fudge their marks if they complain.
1 minute, just 1 minute. Here I would like to interfere. For example, he says the teacher beats. But why the teacher beats?
That's not the point. The point is the teacher beats. Why the teacher beats?
No. See, you have to have that. See, everything you cannot make the general approach.
No, but sir, I don't agree with physical violence
No,
in any
we
form.
are also against the violence. That is fine. But question is that everything you cannot finish just like this. It takes time.
Yes.
So you have to give that grace period. And grace period takes time, that to take all the advantages, disadvantages,
In my school, though we have banned corporal punishment,
there are
cases where
find the reasons. Yeah. But don't blame teachers straight away. This is going to play with our system.
So, but there are cases where those who
not to then go and tell their parents, that's horrible, sir.
So there are cases where children who don't turn up for tuition are also victimized in class.
Yeah.
That's also a form of abuse, and then you fudge their marks. Do you believe they need also counselors in schools today?
Yeah, sure.
We don't have. How many of you have counselors in your schools?
I have.
You have a counselor.
I have a counselor in school. Absolutely.
Yeah. Any child requires an emotional space, whom she can feel free to address anything. At that point,
and the principal sometimes, most principals are feared in schools.
Yeah, may be a parent, that may be a teacher, that may be a friend.
One of the ugly phases of child abusers, sir, goes unnoticed. That is called bullying, sir, in schools. That bullying that goes unnoticed, sir, where 4 or 5 people go and bully some kind of an innocent guy, and that innocent guy gets emotionally traumatized that he even fails to go and complain to a teacher or the headmaster, and that emotional guy feels very inferior of himself, sir. And what I'm trying to say is that the guys who bully those kind of innocent students in class must be put under a scanner.
No, I agree with you, and I agree with you. This is a very valid point you brought up, because we are forgetting the fact that many abusers are also other children. We are all the time talking about adults as abusers.
Sitting right next
to
you.
Yes. Abusers.
It was a 55-year-old man abusing about 23-year-old girl. Whatever it is, it was a form of abuse. So nobody came forward. Me and my friend were waiting for him to get down to a bus, and we were searching for a lonely place to hit him. If I could do this, how many of us will support us?
Stop him from abusing that woman when you saw it happen. Did you stop him?
But there were people, she was...
Did you stop him? You saw.
Initiative,
Did you
other
stop?
people have come.
Get
Yes.
off the bus.
Get the initiative.
Also, if you could tell them, sir, I
in
mean,
India,
under the law, they can also make a citizen's arrest.
Yes. Did you
You can make a
we in
citizen's
India
arrest.
consider our elder people as elderly. They are always right.
Yes, a little boy, yes.
Sanjay, no, I want to make a very strong point. Every one of us in this audience and out here are guilty of abetting abuse simply because of our apathy, our silence, our inaction, our diffidence. So let's put that in perspective when we are talking about abuse.
Yes.
We are all part of that.
We have heard stories where some of the major crimes are happening, seeing movies. So same way, even child abusers, like there are movies which are shown there are certain acts what is wrong. And that has created...
would you say that the film's also the villain of the piece
More
here?
than films, I'm talking about advertisements.
That
Advertisements sexualize children.
Every section of the society has to play their own role.
Yeah.
Take it media, take it police,
So
take
talking
it
about the
film.
police again, do you believe that the responsibility should also be placed on relevant players like, for instance, hotel owners, cyber cafes, PT masters, canteens?
Of course, there are till every section has to play its role as a responsible citizen of this country. Then only you can have true solution. Otherwise, we will just keep on talking.
If a student is trashed by his or her teacher, and if that student feels shy to voice his opinion, to open up that matter to his loved ones, in such situation, what is he supposed to do?
Every human being is close to somebody.
Yes, that's right.
Everybody. Just you think whom you can confide your problems. Solution will come.
The media, instead of advertising half-naked women showing a lot of products, they should advertise that help is available. Just go and get it. There's nothing wrong in getting help.
I think this very program is that beginning, and I'm sure now you've got awareness after participating in this program, right?
There is a child helpline. 1098 is the child
That's
line.
again. How many of you are aware of now 1098?
It's like a child
How many of you have
helpline
used?
number.
Now tell me, after knowing this, let us see how many of them are going to use that.
All right.
Sir,
Yes, sir,
I have did it in a bus. I stopped the bus and I took that fellow. He was around 55. He was wearing. I pulled his dhoti and took to T Nagar police station and I complained.
I think more strength to you. More strength to you. More strength to young women like you. I'd like to also tell all of you that you can participate in NDTV Hindu's campaign called Justice for Children. You can send us emails with feedback at ndtv-hindu.com. We'll take your views to the Chief Minister to let the authorities know how strongly we feel about these crimes against children. Thank you very much, panelists, for joining us. To all of you to have come here to participate in this very meaningful debate, I should say. And in fact, November 19th, they say, is International Day Against the Abuse of Children. I think it should not be November 19th. It should be every day. From all of us here on the Chennai Speaks Out team, thank you for watching. We'll see you again at the same time next week.